America is power mad. We need electric power to keep our cities lit and cool. To get it, a network of high-tension lines has sprung up across the landscape coast to coast. They began as mere strands, almost like lonely clotheslines against the sky. But then they multiplied and they got bigger. At the turn of the century, 11 kilovolts, then 100, 230, 345. And now the giants are upon us, the monsters. 765 kilovolts. In each of those lines, enough power to light a city the size of Philadelphia. It's these monster lines that have begun to worry some scientists. They're not sure they're safe for the people who live under them. And the people who live under them have turned angry, some of them, about the power lines. Despite assurances from the power companies and most of the scientific community, they've heard about a few scientists who worry that living near those huge lines can be a health hazard.
At the location of their houses, at the location of the factories where they work, at the location of the parks where they play, the electric field strength is such that animals exposed to that same strength in the laboratory have had their bodily functions affected.
Probably most disturbing to people who have to live around the lines are reports that the electric and magnetic fields they set up might cause health problems. Dr. Andrew Marino is a biophysicist at the Veterans Administration Hospital in Syracuse. His testimony about the possible health hazards involved in living around huge power lines has snarled the attempts of the New York State Power Authority to operate that upstate line at 765 kilovolts.
The physical evidence that we have today are the laboratory experiments, now upwards of 60 or so, in which investigators have exposed various animal systems, primates, monkeys, rats, mice, all the way down to amoeba, to electric field strengths and magnetic field strengths which are such that they can rise from the transmission line, and just a whole variety of effects have been observed. Stunted growth, body chemistry alterations, blood chemistry alterations, cardiovascular system alterations, just the whole gamut of possible biological effects.
The Power Authority paid consultants' fees to several scientists who dispute Dr. Marino's findings. They say the huge line would be safe, that Marino's science is bad. 3 of those scientists are from the University of Rochester. 2 of them just refused to be interviewed. One said he didn't have the time. The other said that he didn't think that the subject could be adequately discussed on television.
We exposed rats for 30 days to an electric field and found that the electric field created a response within the bodies of the animals similar to that undergone by an animal or a human being suffering from stress. It created changes in the blood chemistry of the animal indicative of stress. In another experiment involving mice, we found that the electric field caused stunted growth in 3 successive generations of mice.
To be sure, Dr. Marino is lonely within the scientific community when he talks about harmful biological effects from power lines. But his mentor believes him. Dr. Robert Becker has been chief orthopedic surgeon at the Syracuse Veterans Hospital for 20 years. He has done extensive experimentation on what low-level currents from an electromagnetic field can do to us. Dr. Becker has found that very weak electrical currents can make broken bones, bones that won't heal naturally, grow together again. Along with Marino, he's concerned that if carefully controlled exposure to weak electrical fields can make bones grow, what could uncontrolled exposure, for instance, from power lines do to people? Andy Marino, you're satisfied that he has the credentials to make the charges that he does?
Yes, I am.
He has studied it?
He has studied it. He has worked with me for a number of years. He's well-trained biophysicist and an extremely competent investigator.
And you back up every statement that he has made to us?
Exactly. They were performed, his experiments were performed in my laboratory.
And Marino has had the Public Service Commission's ear. They've still not decided if that line should operate at 765 kilovolts.